It's your girl Whitney, and 2025 is all about being intentional and showing up. And I'm starting right now with this YouTube channel. This is not gonna be perfect. It is gonna be messy, but the most exciting part is I know in 365 days, I'll probably laugh at this video and be like, girl, what were we thinking? But we were thinking that we gonna show up and we gonna get it done, because I can wait till everything is perfect, hair done, makeup on, outfit right, or I can just do it, share my message, and keep going until I get confident in front of this camera. And guess what? You get to go on the journey with me. I am Whitney DeGale. Why DeGale? That's my middle name. It's a combination of my dad's name and my aunt's oldest daughter, who unfortunately lost her life at 2 years old to leukemia. Her name was Gail. And in all Black families, we like to merge a lot of names together. My father's name is Don, and so we got DeGale. And here we are with the Whitney DeGale Show. So let's talk about what we'll be doing on this YouTube channel. And I'm gonna share a little bit about who I am in my journey for all of this to make sense. Right now, I am in Hanoi, Vietnam. And let me start by saying in 2024, this was not on my bucket list. But here we are, because I continue to say yes to life. I continue to show up. Let's go back 1 year. In December of 2023, I was laid off from my job. I worked in human resources. I was a freshly minted MBA graduate from the University of Michigan, which was an amazing time that I had in business school, which really took my travels to another level. And you're probably like, Whitney, you went to business school to do business. And that is true. But to understand how we got to this year of travel, I have to lay the foundation that business school really sparked my journey and my fierceness of solo travel. So I got laid off and I gifted myself with a year of travel. The faith and how I always say God don't play about me, he showed up, because in October of 2023, I made the decision to move home to Baton Rouge, Louisiana, where I'm from. Shout out to the 225. I am a Louisiana girl, born and bred through and through. Southern girl is who I am at my core. And once I got laid off, the whole purpose of me moving home in the first place was to spend half the year working remote. I had just spent 3 years last year in, not 3 years, 3 months last year in 2023 living in Medellin, Colombia. And I moved home so I can spend more time in Colombia or any other Latin American countries, and spend half the year in the States at home, or being able to freely visit friends while working remotely, because that was the freedom that I had in my last job. And so when I got laid off, I had already done enough research and knew how much money I needed to have to travel for the year. Most people say around 10 to 15,000. And I knew I wanted to travel. At the core, that's what I wanted. And so starting to look for another job just did not sound exciting, and it would not have been true to who I am and what I wanted. And so I decided to go on this year-long journey. I started back in Colombia in January 2023. And then I found my way to Asia, and to Southeast Asia specifically, in late August of 2024. And I then made the crazy decision. I had to have a real life conversation with myself and ask, what is it that I want? And the answer was freedom. Traveling this year has truly unlocked a passion of mine, and it gave me the ability to believe in myself and who I am, to believe in the energy that I give out and I put out into this world. And, I think it would be a disservice to myself, to my purpose, to the people, if I went back and did a corporate job, because that'll be too easy. So here I am at the start of this journey, not knowing what the heck is coming next, but this is what I do know. These are the decisions that I did make. I'm not going back to America. I'm going back to visit. I'm going back to get my things. That's happening in January. But calling America home for the next 365 days is what is not in my plans. So I've decided to teach part-time here in Hanoi, Vietnam, at an English center, which is completely different from the life that I lived before. If you don't know, I studied engineering. I'm a HBCU graduate. Shout out to Prairie View A&M University. I graduated in 2011 in mechanical engineering, and I got my master's in industrial and systems engineering from North Carolina A&T, Aggie Pride, double HBCU graduate, and I worked 8.5 years in manufacturing, mostly as an operations manager, before I stopped that job to go get an MBA from the University of Michigan, go blue, because I wanted to pivot into HR. The whole purpose of me going into HR was because I wanted to advocate for marginalized people. And that dream and passion is still there. But I figured that corporate was not the way to do that work. Still don't know the way. That's why we're here, because we're going to be sharing that way. But I know I have an ability to be my most authentic self. I have an energy that I put out into this world that allows me to connect and get to know people from all different backgrounds. And it did not start that way as a girl growing up in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. And so all of that to say is, in these next 365 days on this YouTube channel, each week I will be coming to you with highlights of my life here in Hanoi, Vietnam. I will be sharing stories of my life that has set me up to be on this path of exploration and adventure, because that has not always been the case, especially when you come from a family like mine. I'm a first generation college graduate. My grandparents were sharecroppers. My mom grew up on a plantation. She was a single mom, and stability is something that you just had to have. Exploration was something Christopher Columbus did. It's not something that we did. Being able to just figure it out, that was a luxury I had no idea of until now. And so I think there are some things I learned and had to unlearn along the way. There are things that there are people that I have met, life lessons that were hard that I had to master. And I think, there's a lot to learn from my journey, and I just want to share it. And so, yeah, let me recap, because I went all around to get here, but I will be sharing my life here in Hanoi. I will be sharing the lessons that I've had to learn and unlearn. And I will be bringing you stories of the people that I have met along the way that has either educated me or inspired me in some way. And I'm just excited. I hope you are too. And let's do this. This is really happening. We are launching a YouTube channel, and we're putting our life out here for the world. You got this, Whitney. You can do it. I love you. Do this!